Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. We've started doing these review show specials on a Sunday night. Last week we had a look at the Insider by Mark Oberon. This week we're going to be looking at Regal Workers. Now, who are Regal Workers? Regal Workers is a company based in the UK, and it is kind of co-run by Andrew Dean and Joel Dickinson. Now, if you go check out the Talk Magic that went up on Wednesday nights, right here on this channel, it's on the Talk Magic playlist, I uploaded an interview that I did with Joel Dickinson. It's well worth watching that interview. He talks all about his career. He talks all about Tada, which was his kind of first production company, and he talked about how he met Andrew Dean and why they set up Regal Workers. The thing about Regal Workers is, well, the clue's in the name. It is a production company producing magic tricks that are designed to be real workers. Now, what is the definition of workers? Because that's a really good question, right? These days, you know, a trick can be performed on Instagram. It's a working trick for an Instagram magician. I would never dream of performing something like Dice Bomb out in the real world, but I've seen pretty much every single TikTok magician get millions of views performing Dice Bomb. So the point is, what is a working routine? Well, when Joel and Andrew talk about real workers, they talk about routines that work in the real world. In other words, all of their routines are designed to be kind of a quick reset, performed in most situations, generally easy to do, although they're not scared of sleight of hand, and generally really clever methods and really clever routines. Now, we have reviewed on this channel last year Instacan, which was Joel and Andy's version of Any Card at Any Number. You can go check that out. In fact, in the end of year awards, we gave Instacan one of the top tricks of 2020, and it really was. It was absolutely brilliant. If you haven't seen it, it's any card at any number. Someone names a card, someone names a number. You deal down, the card appears at that number, and every other card in the deck is blank. It's that clean. It's really good. Today, we're going to be looking at 4 new items, newish items by Regal Workers. Some stuff that's a little bit older, some stuff that's very, very new. They do some amazing products. They really do. I mean, there's so many amazing tricks that these guys bring out. So I had a look at their catalogue. I picked 4 routines. I have them here. I have looked at them. I have practiced them. I have performed them a few times. And I'm going to share with you what I think and kind of try to highlight to you some real... A lot of people don't know about the Regal Workers stuff, and it's a real shame because some of the stuff they do is great. Anyway, the first item I'm going to be looking at is going to be the F.A.B board, which is their latest item. Let's have a look at that right now. Okay, so this is the review for the F.A.B board, and F.A.B stands for the Force Anything board by Joel Dickinson and Andrew Dean. And as it says, one sheet, online, and on stage, online and close up. This speciality, it's really difficult to read upside down. On stage, online and close up, this specially designed clipboard can force anything. I have never seen anything quite like this before. What it is you get a really well-made clipboard, and you get a gimmick. And what that gimmick and that clipboard allow you to do is force absolutely anything. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually do this, and I'll talk about all the different ways in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to show you a live performance of the actual prop. Now, the routine that I'm going to be performing is Andrew Dean's routine. They talk about a whole bunch of different stuff on the download. The download's really, really good. But there's 2 main routines. A routine by Andrew and a routine by Joel. We'll talk about Joel's routine in a bit, but let's first of all have a look at me performing Andrew's routine. So I'm going to get Sarah to help me with this. Sarah, can you help me with an amazing mind-reading trick?
Okay.
See, I'm going to read your mind right now. You've known me for many, many years. You know I've always faked mind reading up until this point, but right now, real mind reading is going to happen. In fact, I have made a prediction right here in this bag. I'm going to put that right there. I want you to remember that before I did anything, I put that prediction right there in the bag. I will not touch it. I will not switch it. It's going to stay right there the whole time.
Okay.
Now, I also have a pad. And I can't just do this with just anybody. I need to make sure that you and I, Sarah, are psychically in touch. Now, I know we have a connection, but I need to make sure that we are psychically in touch. I want you to think of a word. Any word in the English language? Are you thinking of that word?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, be honest with me. Tell the truth. Don't lie. If I told you that I had this word that you're thinking of right here on this piece of paper, would you believe me?
No.
No. That is correct. No. Thank you very much. Okay, it's not really. You're not buying the psychic powers. Don't worry. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. I've got another test just to make sure that we are psychically in touch. I have another piece of paper right here. I would like you to think of any playing card, any one of the 52 cards in the deck, not a joker. Remember that there's 13 values, 4 suits. Think of a card. Have you got one right now?
Yeah.
Wonderful. You've got a card.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where it gets real right now. Be honest with me. If I told you I had your card on this next piece of paper, would that be good?
Yeah.
Your card.
No.
You're not really buying the mind reading right now, are you,
No.
Sarah? You're not really buying the mind. Okay, I'm going to have to obviously pull out the big guns. Let me get rid of these two and let me pull out the big guns. What I have here is I have a list of magicians' equipment. What I have is I have a list of 10 things that magicians would carry around with them all of the time. I got this off the internet, the 10 most popular things a magician might carry around with them. What I'd like you to do, Sarah, is I'd like you to think of a number between 1 and 10. And you can include 1 and 10 in that if you want to. That's absolutely fine. But think of a number. Have you got one?
Yes.
Very good. Now change your mind and think of a different number. So in other words, you're thinking of a number that you didn't even think you were going to be thinking of when I asked you to think of a number.
Okay.
Okay, when I snap my fingers, you're going to name that number because I have here, as I say, 10 things, 1 to 10. Name a number.
7.
Do you want to change your mind?
No, I've just changed it.
Okay, so 4 would be, that's a very good point, but you are a lady, it's your prerogative to change your mind. You're happy with 7, yeah?
Yes.
Just so you know that I'm not cheating, I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to circle your choice.
Okay.
Now, hopefully, you can see this on the camera. If you picked 1, it would have been coins. 2 would have been wand. 3 would have been sharpie. All things that magicians would carry. Rope, balls, mat, paper, silks, band. But can you see what's written there at number 7, your freely chosen number?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Cards.
And that was a free choice. I even told you could change your mind again, but you went for cards. Is that right?
Yeah.
And this prediction has been here the whole time, Sarah.
Okay.
And inside this prediction, there is one thing and one thing only. What did we say again? We said cards, right?
Yeah.
There's one thing and one thing only, Sarah. Just one thing. Hang on, let me just one thing and one thing. What was it again? Cards. There's one thing and one thing only in here, and that is cards. Thank you very much. You still look very unimpressed. But no, seriously, there really is only one thing in here, which is a pack of cards. Is that fairly impressive, Sarah? It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I was able to predict exactly what you'd think of. But earlier on, I asked you to think of a playing card. What playing card did you think of?
The 9 of Hearts.
And you weren't very impressed with my your card thing? You
No.
weren't very impressed with that at all?
No.
But here's the thing. Check this out. This pack of cards that's been in this box the whole time, that's been in that bag the whole time. What card? The 9 of
Hearts.
So weird, so weird. Let me tell you why. You see, all of these cards are facing the right way. But I want you to see that there really is only one card facing in another direction. I turned one card over in this pack before we even started this trick. This card right here, one card and one card only, Sarah, the 9 of Hearts.
That's pretty cool.
So I love that trick. I really like funny prediction tricks on stage where, I do a lot of different routines where I'm using those gags, the no gag and the your card gag. And, they may be as old as the hills, but they really do win an audience over. Audiences really like that. So what the actual meat and bone, take the gags out the question for a minute, even though they are part of the routine. What the meat and bones of this routine is having the ability to show a list of 10 items, very cleanly get them to name any number, and there is no force, they can name any number. You take out a pen, you circle the number they want, you ask them to look at it and say it out loud, and you can force anything. In the case of that routine, I forced cards. So I showed a list of items that magicians might carry, which is Andrew's routine. They give me a number. What is that? That's cards, and the bag has cards. Now, Andrew had this really wonderful idea of using an invisible deck in the bag so that after you do that, you can call back to the card You know, because obviously earlier in the routine you say name a card, hey, it's your card, which is a funny bit. But then at the end you can call back to that by having their card the only one turned over in a deck, which is a really nice way to present the invisible deck, because you've actually predicted the cards, which is a really strong moment. And I love that bit where, you know, you have the bag, or Andrew uses a hat, and you know, you kind of fiddle around and you bring the pack of cards out and then you show there's nothing else in the bag. I think that's really strong. I think that's great. This works really well. Obviously, I've not performed it on a real stage yet because I haven't had a chance to actually go and perform on real stages for a while. But I've done this in a virtual show. This is amazing in a virtual show. And it's gonna, I know, I've performed on stage enough times to know this routine will kill for a real audience. It really will. But it's really great live virtually as well. In fact, on the download, you actually see Andrew performing this live to a Zoom audience of about 7 or 8 people. Joel's routine is all about fruit. So he uses this same prop to force fruit. So he's got a list of fruit. He's got 10 different fruits. They name a number and they end up with pear. And he's got this really funny routine. And at the end of the routine, he brings out of a bag a tin of fruit salad. I think it is, and it says, look, ingredients, pear, thank you very much, which is, again, a really funny moment. But then he opens up the can, and inside is a full, real pear. And what a great moment. I've never seen that before. I love the idea of having them name a fruit and then bring out a fruit salad. I think that's really funny. Appeals to my sense of humour, and it's the sort of thing that I know audiences would eat up. And again, this works close up and it works stage. Sorry, it works stage and it works virtually. Now, it says on here close up, and it can work close up, absolutely. There's not angle restrictions with this pad, to be perfectly honest, at all. I mean, obviously from behind, you don't want people directly from behind, but other than that, that's it. There's no angle restrictions. The only thing that I'd say is the board is very big for a stage performance. But having said that, they actually do 2 sizes of this board. So they do the stage size, which is the size that I actually use to perform with, which is A4, and then they do an A5 size, which is half the size which they use. That would be the one for close-up. Even then, it wouldn't fit into your pocket, but banquet or table hopping, that would be fine. You know, if you walk over to the table and say, hey, I'd like to show you something. And it could be used as a very quick opener in a really nice way. So you could have the deck of cards, you could put a bag down on the table and say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Craig, I'm the magician here this evening. My job is to amaze you and astound you, and I'd like to start off with a very simple list. What I'd like you to do, sir, is give me a name number from 1 to 10. 4. Are you sure you want 4? Fantastic. I'll circle 4. Can you just tell everyone what says 4? Cards. Look, it could have been anything. It says card. This routine that I performed would do brilliantly as an opening routine in a banquet or a restaurant situation, especially with an A5 board. Now, the other thing that you want to be aware of with this is the way I performed it and the way I've described it up until this point, it's a pre-written list. However, what you can do if you want to is you can have people name anything. So you can show a list that's got literally 1 to 10 on it and it's blank, and you could ask for people's names, for example, John, right, okay, we'll write down John, James, we'll write down James, or whatever it may be. You can have people call out names, write them all down, and obviously they don't know what number you're writing each name at, and then you go, right, okay, can they name the number for me? 4, okay, what's written up for? Fred, whatever it may be. Okay, brilliant. So you can actually do it that way. In fact, I wouldn't look at this as a trick. I'd look at it as more of a tool, because really that's kind of how I look at it. It's a tool. It really is. It's a tool that you can use to force absolutely anything in a very easy way. And it is very, very easy. You have to do some very, very basic sleight of hand that will take you seconds to do, and it's done under complete misdirection. But it's just a really clever principle. It really is. I think it's the sort of thing that the best trick to do with this board hasn't even been created yet. And I know the Real Workers team, what they have, the way that they have their website set up with their tutorials, is they can constantly be adding new videos. And I know that they do that over time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to upload more ideas and more routines over time. I think that's something that they'll probably do. But I think there's somebody out there that's going to have the perfect idea for this. Think about a routine where you need to force something. This allows you to have a list of up to 10 items and to be able to force it anytime, anywhere. If you like the idea of that in your show, whether it's close-up or stage or virtual show, then this is perfect for you. I'm going to give this 96%. I think this is really good. That routine that I just did for you, I'm going to put that into my show. I'm going to put it into my stage show. I love the fact that it packs flat. It's literally just a clipboard, a bag, and an invisible deck, and I'm good to go. That is definitely going into my stage set. Even if I don't do it, it packs so small. It's nice to have that extra material there, but I also think that it'd be great for close-up as well. So yeah, 96%, I think this is great, and it's highly recommended. Okay, so the next item that I want to have a look at is this one here. This is called Wallet Hacker. No Palm, Any Wallet, Spectator's Wallet by Harry Harrington and Haredin Gillis. I think I've butchered your name, my friend. I'm very, very sorry. It's the ultimate card in wallet. Now, I'm not going to perform this for you. The reason I'm not going to perform it for you is because to do this, you need all of my wallets are magic wallets. I don't own a normal wallet. And I didn't want to do this with a magic wallet. I just think that's ridiculous doing this. If you've got a card in wallet and you're doing this, that's just insane. It really is. But having said that, there's a possibility, and I haven't thought about this until this very moment, but if you've got something like the Shadow wallet, for example, I'm just thinking this through. Yeah, if you've got something like the Shadow wallet, for example, which isn't designed to be a card in wallet and instead is designed as a peak device and a multiple out, you could put this into the Shadow wallet and you could turn your Shadow wallet into a card to wallet. But to be honest, the way that I would do this is the Spectator's wallet. Now, let me explain what the gimmick is, just so you know exactly what you're getting. The gimmick, it's over there. The gimmick is a credit card. Okay, now it looks like a normal credit card. It really does. If you showed this as a credit card, people would not be, they wouldn't think, no, that's not a credit card. And so what you do, if you're going to use a Spectator's wallet, the presentation is, I'm going to bet you that I can find your card. In a minute, I'm going to get you to pick a card. I'm going to bet you I can find it. In fact, I bet you the contents of my bank account. This is my credit card. If I fail to do this, I will give you a PIN. I'll give you my PIN. Now, I don't trust you just holding this. Do you have your wallet? Wonderful. Can I have the wallet, please? Very good. I'm going to put the credit card in there. We're going to put the credit card in the wallet. We'll put that over there. We'll get back to that in a little bit. That's the premise, that's the hook. And then you say, right, pick a card. You can go through any routine that you want to. You can do ambitious card if you wanted to. But if you wanted to just do a very, very simple bare bones presentation, the card is picked, the card is signed, it is apparently lost in the deck. You then pick up the wallet, and now inside the wallet, next to the credit card is a card. And it's a face down card. You pull it out, and as you pull it out, you give it them, they turn it over, and it is their selected and signed card. It is that clean. There's a few different handlings of this. So you can do a visible appearance of the card inside the wallet. And what I mean by that is you can show the credit card in the wallet. You can close the wallet up, snap your fingers as you open it. The card has just appeared inside there. So you can get a visual appearance of the card, or you can just have it so that it just appears and you take it out. Either way is absolutely fine. And Joel and Andy have a few different ideas with this. So one idea is instead of signing the signature strip at the back, you can put the name of a force card. So you can have two people pick cards, and one card is signed and lost in the pack. The other card this person thinks of, and you say, well, let's find your card first. Let's find the signed card. Boom, you pull it out, and the signed card is in the wallet. And then you say, well, your card. You're thinking of your card. Yeah, have a look at the signature strip, and the signature strip has got there, instead of a signature, it's got the name of their card on it, which is quite a nice idea. I wouldn't do that, to be honest, because I think that gives away that it's maybe a magic credit card. And I don't even want to go close to going down that route, but it's an idea that's on there. And what's nice is that the download goes through all these different options. And that's wonderful, because the thing is, what worked for one person might not necessarily work for the other. I don't like the idea of having that on a signature strip, but somebody might absolutely love it. So it's nice that they've given us all options there. And obviously you can do this with your own wallet. You don't have to actually just do this with the Spectator's wallet. If you have your own wallet and you put the credit card in there, it turns it effectively into a card to wallet. Now, the thing that you need to bear in mind is there is palming in this routine. Joel teaches you a couple of different ways of doing the palming. The one way that you can do it is with a gambler's cop, and he teaches the gambler's cop brilliantly. That is kind of the primary way and the main way that Joel does it. But the other way of doing it is by doing a top palm and taking the wallet and turning the wallet over. Because what the gimmick allows you to do is, it in effect, it turns a wallet into... if you've ever seen Mirage Wallet, which was a very old wallet by F.A.B Magic, And any of the old timers might remember this. It was a wallet, and you opened it, and there was a face-down card in there, held in place with a paper clip. And then what you did is you took the paper clip out and you took the card off. You took the card out and you got a visual retention of the card coming out the wallet, whilst in reality it wasn't coming out from the wallet, but it really looked like it was. That was the Mirage wallet. It was a great wallet. It was a really good seller for Mark. Well, this is kind of a similar sort of thing, but but the gimmick is built into the credit card instead of being built into the wallet. And because it's being built into the credit card, it means that any wallet can be used. It doesn't have to be a gimmicked wallet. Now, I showed this Sarah and I showed this Ryland, and they were completely fooled by it. They thought it was really, really good. They had no idea how it works. I have a feeling that the first time you look at this, first of all, the gimmick looks great. The gimmick looks incredible. And when you see it and you play around with it, you're going to think immediately, okay, that's really clever. And then you're going to put it in a wallet and you're going to play around with it and you're going to go, is this going to work? Is this going to work? And then the more you play with it, and it will take a little bit of practice. It's not necessarily difficult, but to get the timing right does take a little bit of practice. The more you play with it, you kind of realize, wow, the retention on that is really, really good. And what I did, and what I advise you to do as well, is to video it, okay? So just take a video camera and get somebody, set it up on a stand, or get somebody to video you, and just video yourself pulling that card out again and again. And you will fool yourself. It looks so good. It really does. And the nice thing is, when you do it with your own wallets, there's no heat on the credit card at all, because the credit card is just there inside the wallet, and you just pull the selected card out. There's no heat on the wallet at all. My question is, and I don't know the answer to this yet, because obviously we're still pretty much locked down in the UK at the moment, and I can't actually go out and perform this to real people. But my question is, if there'll be heat on the credit card if you put the credit card into the spectator's wallet. I don't think there will be, and Joel addresses this on the download and he says there's not. It's my only concern, and I don't know the answer right now because obviously I can't go out and perform it right now, but if you're giving somebody a credit card and then the card appears right next to the credit card and then you take it out, is there going to be an issue that someone's going to think, well, okay, the credit card's got something to do with it? Because the credit card can't be examined, not even a little bit. It can't even be slightly examined. When you can show it and it looks fine, but you can't examine it. So if somebody wants to take that credit card off you and look at it, they can't. And you don't get a regular credit card that you can switch in. So that's my only concern with this, and I won't know the answer until I go out and performing. I don't think it'll be an issue because obviously, you know, it's the unwritten rule that you don't mess with somebody else's credit card, yeah? So if I put the credit card in there and I have their wallet and I pull their card out and I give it them, all the focus is going to be on there, and I just go, great, that means I get to keep my credit card and I can put it away. I don't think that's going to be the case, but my question is, would a spectator link the two together? And I think the way that you'd actually get around that is by making sure that the reason for you putting the credit card in the wallet is really strong. Like if you just go, hey there, sir, can I put my credit card in your wallet for a minute? Thank you very much. Right, pick a card. Look, it's right there. Then I think it might be a bit dodgy. But if you set the premise up of, hey, you can drain my bank account, you can do whatever you want to, I think that you're going to be absolutely fine. I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to do this. And the reason I'm not going to do it is because I have so many different ways of having a card appear in an impossible location. I have so many, like I have multiple different ways of doing it. And if I want to do it with a wallet, I've got 5 or 6 different wallets that I can do it with. And although I like the idea of doing it with a spectator's wallet, I wouldn't do that. I would do it with my own wallet, to be perfectly honest, because I like being in control of the timing. And if I'm having to wait for somebody to take their wallet out, and then it might not necessarily be the right wallet, although it's like really, really kind of the thing that dreams are made of, right? I can make a signed card appear in a spectator's wallet. I personally wouldn't go down that route. It doesn't mean this isn't a good trick. I think it's very well made, and I think it's a good trick. And if you're looking for a way of doing card in wallet with a regular wallet, or you've got a magic wallet. Now, it won't work with all wallets. So if you've got a magic wallet that's like a peak wallet, and you want to try and convert it into a card to wallet with this, it might work, it might not. The best way to actually find that out is to contact Joel or Andy. They're really, really nice guys, and they'll tell you. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a card to wallet, this is a great solution to it without having to buy a magic wallet. But I've got so many magic wallets. So I'm going to give this 79%. I really like it. I'd recommend it. I just personally am not going to do it myself. Okay, so the next review we are going to be looking at Mythic, Secrets at Your Fingertips, by again, Joel Dickinson and Andrew Dean. And this is another utility device that allows you to do a lot, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it allows you to do a lot. I know that sounds ridiculous and it sounds quite ambiguous, but it is very, very true. It has a similar feel to it. It's very, very different. It's not the same thing at all, but it has kind of a similar feel to it as Mark Lavell's Skynet project. If you've ever seen Mark Lavell's Skynet project or you know what that is, this is a similar sort of thing. It's a gimmick that you wear, that anybody could wear. It's not affected by size or anything like that. You could be small, you could be big, it doesn't matter. It's a gimmick that you wear that allows you to get access to basically a crib. It allows you to get access to a crib, and there's a few different ways of using this, and Joel and Andy talk about a whole bunch of different ways on the download. The obvious application of this is with playing cards, because it will allow you to do a very, very clean playing card reveal without even using a deck of cards. Let me perform that for you so you can see exactly what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform this to Sarah behind the camera. She hasn't seen this, so I'm going to perform this for Sarah behind the camera, just so you can kind of get an idea of what you can actually do with this gimmick. So Sarah, I have in my pocket a folded up playing card from a deck of playing cards. This card is a card that I folded up just before we started filming, and it is a mystery card. Sarah, do you have any idea why this is a mystery card?
No, it's a mystery.
It is a mystery, exactly. I'm going to put it right there. We'll get back to that in a minute. Now, we're going to have a card picked, one of the 52 cards in the deck, and we're going to do it in a kind of an interesting way. So a pack of cards is made up of red cards and black cards. There's 26 red cards and 26 black cards. Would you like a red card or a black card?
A black card.
Okay, interesting, cool. And they're made up of clubs and spades. There's 13 clubs, 13 spades. Would you like a club or a spade?
Spades.
Okay. And spades made up of, there's 13 spades. They're made up of picture cards and number cards. Would you like a picture card or a number card?
Let's go with a picture card.
And there's 3 picture cards. There's Jack, Queen and King. Would you prefer a Jack, a Queen or a King?
A Jack.
Now, this is the most important question. You've made all the decisions up until this point, but maybe you feel like I've forced you into that particular direction, which I haven't, but this is your final question. Would you like to change your mind and go with a different card? Because if you want to do that, you can do that. Now is your chance. If not, that's fine.
Okay then.
What?
Actually, I'm going to change my mind because I don't always. Yeah, I'm going to change my mind. But I'm going to stick with spades.
Right. Where are you going to go?
Let's go with the 3 of spades.
You want the 3 of spades?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Have you ever helped a magician before?
Yes.
Of course, you're not helping one right now, to be honest, but that's fine. Do you want to change again? I mean, you know, you can change back to the card that you had beforehand. It would have been easier for me. But, I mean, if you want the 3 of spades...
No, I'll stick with the 3 of spades now.
Okay. And this mystery card has been folded up here from the very beginning. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Check this out, Sarah. I'm going to unfold this. And I want you to see when I do unfold it, the card that's been on the table the whole time, this mystery card, has always been the 3 of
no
spades. Boom. So that's obviously a very cool application of like a mystery card plot, where you just put a folded up card down on the table, then name a card, and it happens to be the folded up card, right? And Andy talks about a few different ways that you can actually use this application. So, for example, you can have it, he talks about doing it as card under watch. So somebody names a card and within seconds, within literally, just by going, what, can you say that again? And doing a slight body turn to the left or the right, you can immediately get that thing that you need. You can immediately get access to that particular card in finger palm. And once it's there, you can do anything you want with it. So as I say, Andy talks about having it as card under watch. And he's got a very interesting way that he teaches of doing card under watch. I've done card under watch for years and I load it in one particular way. He's the only person I've ever seen that loads it in a different way. And he teaches that technique on the download as well, which is really nice. He also talks about how you can just pull a card out of thin air. You can just literally pluck a card out of thin air. I like the idea of doing almost like a Wayne Dobson invisible deck. If you've not seen the Wayne Dobson invisible deck, totally different method, but it's the whole idea of having an invisible purse. And in the invisible purse, he pulls out an invisible deck of cards and this whole presentation, which is great, but you end up opening the the purse frame and pulling out the folded up card that ends up being their card. This would allow you to do that, but if anybody knows Wayne's version, it revolves around instant stooging. Well, this would be a free choice. I say a free choice. You can buy this in either 24s or 48s, which means you can either have access to 48 outs or 24 outs. So if you were doing a deck of cards, you couldn't really have an ace. You'd have to eliminate the 4 aces. But anybody who's been in Magic for more than 5 minutes will know how easy it is to eliminate an ace from a spectator's choice of a freely chosen playing card. Now, so far, a lot of people are probably thinking, well, hang on, doesn't this do exactly the same thing as Skynet? And the answer is yes. However, where this differs is Skynet is designed to be just used with playing cards, while this can be used with absolutely anything. Let me give you a few examples that they talk about on the download. So first of all, if any of you guys do Lolly Hero by Steve Rowe, which if you don't know it is the whole idea, it's a very popular effect. The whole idea is that you have a lolly and somebody, picks a superhero, let's say it's Iron Man, for example. You bite the lolly, and when you've bitten it, you've bitten into the shape of Iron Man. Well, this will allow you to hold 12 lollies, 13, 14 lollies, something like that, very, very easily. So you could get access to a crib, an index of lollies. So you could have them prepped in various different superheroes. Name a superhero, and you could get, rather than forcing them a superhero, you can literally name them one, and you could produce it like Kieran Johnson does, or produce the lolly from a bunch of fire, or have a normal lolly and switch it for the lolly. There's a whole bunch of different ways of dealing with it. What's really nice, and what I think is the nicest application of this, is the ability to hold out 12 thumb tips. So you could actually have an index of 12 or 13 thumb tips. And one routine that they talk about on the download is they talk about doing an any bill called for. So literally having somebody name any note, and you have a piece of paper which you give them, and they name a note. They can name any denomination that they want to, and when you take that back, you fold it and you unfold it, and it turns into the note that they've named, which is a really nice idea. But to be honest, I think you could take that and run with it. And what I mean by that is, if you had thumb tips set up with Tyvek pieces of paper, I mean, there's just the stuff that you could do. I mean, there's so many different ways of, you could do some really nice routines where you're predicting so many different things, and pieces of paper are changing, and you can have multiple changes. So you can have it change from here to here to here just by stealing out different thumb tips. There's so many different ways you could do with that. Or let's say you do a routine with a thumb tip that requires a setup, and so you're only going to do it once in a night, because something like maybe Nate Cranzo's bent coin, which uses flash wool prepped inside a thumb tip or something. If you really like that routine, you could be prepped to do this like 10 times in a night, 12 times in a night. The boys talk really about a routine that's really good at using astrology symbols. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you can do this. I think the ability to have thumb tips loaded in there, or billets, it'll take billets as well without the thumb tip. It'll take billets nice and easy. And I think that's the big difference between this and Skynet. As I say, there are similarities. Absolutely, there are similarities, but there are also differences as well. And I think it's a product that definitely deserves to be released. It stands apart on its own because of A, the other ideas that they've got with it, and B, the ability to not just have playing cards, but to have other things as well. So yeah, it's really good. I'm very excited about the idea of using it for a thumb tip. I know, and I think a little bit like the F.A.B. board, I think the best idea with this device hasn't yet been created. And what I mean by that is I think somebody very creative is going to get this, and they're going to come up with like a killer routine. I think this has got so many applications for confabulation, and you can combine it with a couple of forces, and as well as the forces, you've also got you could combine it with a bank of 12 multiple outs, and you could come up with something very, very special. Yeah, I mean, so good, so good. So yeah, it's really good. I really like it. Be aware from a clothing's restrictions point of view, you are going to have either a jacket on, or a bit like what I'm wearing, you're going to need a shirt over a t-shirt. If you're muscular bodybuilder type and you have a tight t-shirt tucked into your jeans, you're not going to be able to do this. You either need to have a jacket on, you need to have a shirt over your t-shirt, or you need to have just a t-shirt on that's down over your belt, if that kind of makes sense, and not tucked into your trousers or your pants, whatever it may be. But other than that, that's the only clothing restrictions. That's something you need to be aware of. Yeah, I really like this. I'm going to give this 89%. It's probably something that I will be doing. Well, it's got over 80%, which means I'm definitely going to be doing it. I just want to think about it. I don't want to do the playing card thing, although I performed that for you, and I learned it and set it up to do it for you, and it's absolutely great, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've got ways of doing that without needing to have an index. What excites me is what I can do with the thumb tips. I think there's something there that I think is going to be really special. So let me know down in the comments if you've got an idea for this and you like the idea of having a bank of like 12 or 15 thumb tips that you can access within seconds. Let me know, because I'm trying to come up with a routine, and I think there's going to be a killer routine out there. I just need to think of it. Okay, so the final routine that I'm going to be talking about today is Linkum, which for me is the best trick that Joel and Andy have ever put out. I'm telling you right now, this is getting 100%. This is the best linking band I have ever seen. And I'm kind of obsessed with linking bands. I'm obsessed with rubber band magic, and I have been for many, many years. Unfortunately, I can't perform this for you because you need something in order to perform it. And the thing that I need broke literally just before I came out to perform. It's something that magicians use. Most magicians would have one of these that are watching. If not, they're very inexpensive to get hold of. Mine broke, so I'm going to have to get another one. But this is something, right, let me give you a bit of history on this. I saw this at Blackpool 2020. And I talk about this in the interview with Joel, but if you haven't seen the interview, let me just reiterate this. I saw this at Blackpool 2020. I walked past the Real Workers stand, and Joel was there, and he was like, "Hey, Craig, come and have a look at this." And he showed me this linking band routine, and it just blew my mind. I mean, literally blew my mind. He literally, and I'm not exaggerating, this is what it looked like. He took a rubber band off his wrist and another rubber band off his wrist. He handed them out for examination. He took them back and he just linked them, and they were definitely 100% linked. And then he snapped and they unlinked, and he did it again and did it again and did it again. And I must have gone back to their stand about 30 times at Blackpool. And I was just like, I'd already bought it, but I just wanted to watch him perform it to other magicians because I was just blown away. And I remember grabbing the Murphys guys and saying, "Look, guys, have you seen this? This is the best linking bands I have ever seen." Since then, I've performed it many, many times in virtual shows. There is a video. I haven't done it on a Magic Live, actually, so I'll do it on a Magic Live soon. But I've done it in virtual shows. For a virtual show, it's great because you can get really close to the camera, but real life, it's absolutely brilliant. Now, one thing that I've talked about with rubber band magic that really annoys me is when magicians do rubber band tricks, they always just learn and do the crazy man's handcuffs routine. There are so many different routines that you can do with rubber bands. There's so many different rubber band routines you can do, and I do hundreds of different rubber band routines, but every single magician does the same thing. They always do crazy man's handcuffs. This is an example of something that you can do with rubber bands that is just incredible, and when you link them and you give them out to the spectators, they are going to want to look at them. I can imagine having this, giving it out, and having people just examine it all night long. It's just an incredible routine. I cannot tell you how good this routine is. If you go back and look at the Joel Dickinson interview, he actually performs it on camera for me. I love this trick. I really do. Like I said, I'm telling you right now, it's getting 100%. It's the best trick that you'll get. It's a download, okay? It's a very simple premise. It's once you're set up for it, you could literally do it naked. I say set up for it. You just need to have something with you that you wear so it doesn't affect pocket management. And when you wear it, people can't see what it is or where it is. I don't want to give anything else away. But when you have this on you, you are set up and ready to go anytime, anywhere. Right? And you can literally, it's an instant reset. It is the perfect real worker because you can do it, immediately give the elastic bands out, let them keep them if they want to. Then you can take 2 more elastic bands, do it again for another group of people, no table required, no issues at all. The only thing that I would say is you need to be aware that if you're doing it in a festival with really bright lights, there are some there are some lighting considerations, but not that much really to worry about. For 99% of the gigs that you do, the lighting won't be an issue at all. And it's very easy to learn. It's like a short download where Joel goes through absolutely everything in depth. There's a bonus routine on there as well. If you guys don't do rubber band magic, you're missing out on the trick, because you really should do rubber band magic. I've done the Joe Rhinefleisch linking rubber bands, which is kind of a much better version of the linking headbands that Michael and Mark popularized. And I've done that for years. And the reason I carry on doing it is because laymen really love linking rubber band magic. And the reason they do is because they know that rubber bands are not meant to link together. So when you actually show that these bands are linked together, they freak out. Well, imagine having a linking band routine where you have the bands examined, there's no setup, there's no finger movements to get them into position. You literally take the two bands, you link them, you do the thing, and you unlink them. And it's just incredible. I was trying to figure it out all Blackpool weekend. I kept going back and back and again. I couldn't figure it out because I knew there was a version of linking rubber bands with, if you've ever seen the linking coat hangers and you've got a piece of wire coming out, and I was like, is there a piece of wire or something that I can't see? Totally different method. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. 100%. It's like a £10 download or something, $10 download. It's not very expensive at all. And I guarantee you will not be disappointed. When you watch the download, you'll immediately, you might have that, you just need a couple of rubber bands and a gimmick. You might have the gimmick at your home. A lot of people, a lot of magicians do have this gimmick. If you haven't got the gimmick, you can get them from all good magic dealers very, very inexpensively. I think it's like £5 or £6 and you can get like a set of a few of them. I don't want to give too much away. But there you go. It's highly recommended. It's called Linkum. It's the best product. Although I've reviewed some really good stuff on this review show special, it's the best item. I left the best till last. It's 100%. It's one that I know I'm going to be performing. Unfortunately, you know, I've done it in Zoom shows. I haven't really done it live as much, really at all. I think I might have one gig, possibly, just because I learnt it in February. I bought it in February at the Blackpool Magic Convention at the end of February, middle of February. And then the following month, we got locked down in the UK. And for the last year, we've been locked down, right? So I haven't had much opportunity to perform this blooming thing. But I know when I go out gigging properly and I get back to doing it, it's great because I can just have it with me. I can do it anytime, anywhere, and I can blow people away. Highly recommended, 100%. It's available directly from Real Workers. So there you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag. Can you do me a favour and let me know down below if you like these? This is something that I've been thinking about doing more often. As I say, we did Mark Oberon last week. We did Ace Magic Studios. We did 1914. Is this something you'd like to see on a Sunday evening? I can't promise I'll do it every Sunday evening because we put a lot of content out on this channel and sometimes it's a bit too much for me to try and film another review show, but I'm going to try and do them as and when I can if you guys like the idea of it. So let me know down below, is these sort of things of value for you? Do you want to see more of them? If you do, please do me a favour, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video, leave a comment down below, and I'm going to be back on Monday, 3 videos on Monday. 2 o'clock we're going to have a shorts, 6 o'clock we're going to have a... we're having at 6 o'clock. It's a Magic Live. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be back with a 5x5. So I'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.